welcome back. Ron and Annie and the Car Doctor as we roll along this hour. Let's kick open the garage doors. Harry.
Ron.
Whom do you have for me as we open the garage doors this hour?
We have Steve in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's got a Jeep Wrangler with 106,000 miles, and he's having starting issues.
Just broken in. Steve, welcome to the Car Doctor. Thanks, Harry. Steve, welcome to the Car Doctor, sir. How can I help?
Hey, Ron. Thanks for taking the call.
You're welcome. What's going on?
So I got this Jeep. Runs really good, and I'm just having some problems when I hang on 1 second.
Steve, is this a 4-liter? By the way, which engine is in this Jeep? Steve? Uh-oh. Steve, what happened to Steve?
Ron,
he said, hold on.
Oh, yeah, there you go, Steve. Yeah, you all right?
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just getting a little bit of static. I thought I might have lost the call.
Yeah. What engine's in this Jeep, Steve?
It's got that 4-liter straight 6.
All right.
So, when I don't drive it every day. When it sits, though, after I've driven it for an hour or two, or whether it sits for a week, has a hard time catching to get started. I got to sit there and pump the gas pedal. It's like the engine's not getting any gas.
Okay. So it would be extended crank time.
Yes.
Long crank time. Now,
right.
This is a throttle body port fuel injected car, right? This has a singular throttle body for air opening, and it has I'm trying to remember the configuration, 6 injectors, 1 per cylinder.
I believe so, but I
Right.
can't attest to that.
Right. I believe that's what this is back in 91. So, flopping the throttle plate really shouldn't do anything. Has no bearing on it whatsoever. So now we've got to work. Does that really help, or is that just your imagination and all you're doing is just cranking it long enough that it finally catches for some other reason?
I don't know. I know the answer to that. I'll have to give it a try.
Right. You've got to, because it's basically, that's just a mechanical flap, the throttle plate. And all that's doing is just as you open up the throttle plate, a sensor reports throttle angle. The computer takes that into as far as for calculation. This is a map sensor vehicle. There's no mass airflow sensor here. It's looking at manifold vacuum to help calculate as part of the calculation for fuel delivery. And it really has no bearing. So pumping the pedal per se, and that's what we were taught. You can sort of, see the age of the person driving the car, and I'm right there with you. Us older guys, yeah, that was the first instinct. It's a carburetor. Hit the pedal, man. But it's not it. Let's look at and talk about, do you have the ability to just take a fuel pressure check?
I do not.
Okay. Spend a couple of bucks. You like tinkering with the car, Steve?
A little bit.
Yeah. You know what? Buy a fuel pressure gauge set. They're under $100. They make some different ends and different adapters. If you've got, do you have an O'Reilly Auto Parts around you somewhere?
Yes, there is one in town.
Yeah, get over to an O'Reilly Auto Parts. They've got a good selection of tools. You can find what you need there. You can also talk to the guys and say, hey, what works? Tell them you're looking for a fuel pressure gauge, because the first thing I'm going to tell you is that it's an easy enough thing to do. The Schrader port is right up on the front of the rail. You'll see a screw-on cap. Looks like an AC service cap, but it's attached to the fuel rail. With the engine off, unscrew that. You'll see a Schrader valve there. You can just hook the fuel pressure gauge to it, turn the key to the on position. Where's fuel pressure? And then once you get the car running, then it's real easy to do a fuel sample and volume test. And the joke around here has been for the longest time is, Ron likes Snapple. Actually, I never drink it because I'm just not a Snapple guy, but I love the Snapple bottles. They're clear. They're the right size. If you take an empty Snapple bottle and put the pressure relief line from the pressure gauge into the bottle, on an older car like that, the fuel volume, it should actually, if you hold down the return with the engine running, fuel pressure should fill that Snapple bottle in just under 25 seconds. That's
okay.
It's around a pint. It's just about right. So
right.
if it does that, volume is good. If pressure is good, pressure is good. You can also take a fuel sample, see what cleanliness is, and we're good. We know fuel is out of the picture. And
So what should the fuel pressure be?
if memory serves me correct, and if you email me, I'll give you an exact number. I believe you're going to see 35 to 42 pounds engine running. And if you pull the regulator off, it'll go up about 5-6 pounds. But if you send me an email, ron@cardoctorshow.com, I'll make sure I get you the exact spec. Somewhere around 88 through 92, I saw some different numbers that worked. But my point is, sometimes testing something as simple as fuel pressure, even though, and people will say to me, yeah, but I don't see how it could be fuel pressure. Let's eliminate it. What I just described to you is at best a 7-minute test. Start it up, hook it up, read the gauge, dump the fuel, read the bottle, you're done. And then you can kind of cross it off your list. All right? So on the assumption that fuel pressure is good, Stevie, the next thing I'm going to tell you is this car should have a distributor, correct? Spark plug wires and old school stuff. Steve? Uh-oh. We lost Steve. Let me answer the question the way I would have. This should have a distributor, Steve. All right, on the chance that you're still there and your phone died. I know you're having phone problems. So my next question is, bring the engine around to top dead center, and make sure, on number one, make sure you're on the compression stroke, and pull the distributor cap off. Does the rotor line up with the contact for number one spark plug wire? It should be that the rotor is just leaving the number one tower of the distributor cap. And sometimes, you know what, you're driving an older vehicle like this, they're cheap enough, go buy and here's one good thing to do with Chinese parts, all right, cheaper parts, is get an old distributor cap and cut it up so you have a window. So as you bring that rotor around, you'll see what position it has right under that contact. Is it lined up? The trailing edge of that distributor, of that rotor, should be lined up, just leaving number one tower if it's lined up correctly. If it's not, this is a pinned distributor, and you're going to have to modify the base in order to move it a little bit, and that may help your starting problem as well, because things change, timing change, stretch, and other issues. So do those two things, the fuel and the ignition, and we'll go from there. I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor. I'll be back right after this.